Olaniyi to take us information.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. All protocols observed. Obviously, I want to appreciate our fathers in the Lord, and we have many of our fathers here, both present and in absentia. And it's really the authority of the church, our father, the general superintendent, the finance director that are just giving us a beautiful insight into the finances of the church and the custom and tradition of our finance. And of course, our father, the mission director, who has given me the privilege to be here, giving me a sumptuous award, undeserving, really. I want to appreciate God in your life and in the life of mommy. The Lord will continue to strengthen you. I know how much the church is spending on missions because I've been privileged to travel with the director and the president of the church on so many occasions, and I know it is not cheap. So what our father, the finance director, is saying, I think we need to look into it very well and see how much of improvement we can make, even though mission is not about raising funds. But in the age we are in, everything boils down to increased capacity. I pray that wherever you are, the Lord will increase your capacity. Well, I'm not going to be delivering a lecture because I'm talking about information technology. It's a workshop, and I want to make it as interactive as possible, even though I won't be able to take proper feedback. But I want to share experiences with you and to be able to lead you rightly into how best to make the most of the opportunity. I've chosen 2 texts for this program, for this message, and the third one is the one we all know, which is go, make disciples. But the first one I'm taking from 1 Chronicles chapter 12, verse 23 and 32. And that is the passage that says, these are the numbers of men armed for battle who came to David at Hebron, men of Issachar, who understood the times and knew what Israel should do. People that have understanding of the times. And then the second passage is in the New Testament, Ephesians chapter 5, from verse 15 to 16. The Bible says, be very careful how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. I love those passages because it relates to information technology. Anybody is going to be talking today about information technology, the pastor is calling it info. Whatever you want to call it, we are all under the digital age. You are either living yesterday, which is an age of analog, or you are living today. The unfortunate thing is that the church is slow in catching up with digitalization. Digital age has taken over every facet of our life. You know, the funny thing is when we were in school, we sing songs like Iweki Ko, Laisi Oko, Atiada, Koipe. But truth is, if you still sit there today, somebody will say you are already left behind. Because nobody's going to tell you that our Greek is in the realm of Oko and Ada, Cutlass and Hoe. Everybody knows that even our Greek, as grassroots as it is digital. Finance is digital. The ones we're talking about, and I want to tell you that there are, apart from the fact that yes, we need to be careful when we talk about technology. Technology has its own side effect. It has its own bad sides. And it can be very dangerous because from Genesis chapter 4, technology was born out of civilization. Civilization was born out of godless society and generations. So you need to be careful so that we don't base the entire spiritual activity on technology. But we can live the way Jesus explained in John chapter 17, that we are not of the world, but we are in the world. So we can utilize the activity and the instrument that the world has. We can speak the language they understand to meet the need of the world. And that is where technology comes in. You can't say because I'm a Christian, I will not make use of technology. You will be left behind. And what is technology anyway? If I'm going to look at it from the Bible, and that's not what I'm doing here, I'll be looking at the generation of Cain, the fathers of iron. brazed bronze, those who manufactured iron. But let's leave that. Let's talk about the increased knowledge. Knowledge has increased over time. We have come to an age where, whether we like it or not, and the mistake some of us are making is this. We think that for somebody to be educated is to go to school. Now, school is good, but education is different from schooling. You can be certificated without being exposed. And I want to encourage you that, look, education in this age is not about certificate. Education is about what you can do. People like Bill Gates, one of the richest men in the world, actually dropped out of school. And that is not encouraging anybody to drop out, but it's encouraging everybody to know that to increase your capacity does not mean you need to get it within the four walls of the university. Let me give you an example. We talk about the importance of technology. The Bible, in as many versions as you can think of, is on the internet. It's not restricted to anybody. So today you can read Greek and Hebrew. You can learn them online. If you want so much to know Greek, you don't need to go to the seminary, even though the seminary will compel you to do it. But there are so many YouTuber lecturers who will teach you pronunciation, they will teach you the writing, they will teach you everything you need to know. So when you look at the world of education, you will see technology there. They make it cheap, they make it affordable, they make it available. Technology might be expensive, but it is affordable and available at the end of the day. Talk about finance. Every country is going digital. And when I look at the way we waste money and resources, and this, even though I'm talking with missionaries, it is what is affecting every one of us, whether we are missionaries or not. Because I see a situation where we are underutilizing technology. You carry your phone, and the only thing we do with phone is to call and receive. Now that's a waste of resources. There's 1,001 things we can do with it. In your mission field, we can have home cell. People will talk about WhatsApp. Yes, that's the starting point. You talk about Facebook. Coronavirus led so many of us back to Facebook church. We started doing church in our home. And do you know, there are people that we gain followers that we never knew existed. People were commenting, people were tweeting questions, people were commenting, people were referring, in fact, people were contributing to the account of the church without raising fund. Because we were able to break through the barrier that nature actually created. In technology, there is no barrier. Everybody in the entire world will make the most of what is available. And this is what is available to missions. Because the Bible is saying, go, make disciples to the end of the world. And that is an opportunity we cannot ignore. That's one of the things that we can make use of from technology. I have come to realize that the man who understands technology does not have any barrier. For instance, when you, as a missionary, you are encouraged to go into bivocational. Because one of our fathers was saying it here, when the Oyinbos came, they came with hospitals, they came with education, they came because they were bringing missions, but they knew they had to bring what they will eat. So many of us, when we go into missions, we go completely dependent on the church. That won't help us, not in this age. Even a man that is working at the center of the city is no longer enough to be dependent on one single stream of income. And I know so many people will understand what I'm saying. So when you are working, your wife is working, you are even doing 2, 3 by the side. Now as a missionary, if you are going somewhere, what type of training do you give yourself? Apart from intercultural, cross-cultural, theology of missions, and all the way, there must be skills that we need to utilize, to acquire, to develop ourselves with, so that where we're going, we will not just be a liability. We will also be dependent. We will be independent. Of course, we're not going to be independent of prayer. We're not going to be independent of spirituality. But you can be independent financially. And God has helped some of us where you come to realize that you cannot depend on your salary alone because of what opportunities are available to you. And this is an age where you don't need anybody's permission to be able to break through into other opportunities, into realms of opportunities. I remember when we used to go to Gambia, Pastor Ade used to have some people from China who were sending phones. I don't know whether those contacts are still there. There are things we can understand. There are things we can do. There are things we can buy. There are things we can sell. There are opportunities we can make use of once we are connected. What are we talking about connecting? Your phone is there. Your communication ability, your internet, your information highway, they are all meant not just for entertainment, but also for your development and increased capacity. What do you do with your phone? Let me give you an example. If I have an understanding that Naira is free falling and I have $1 million Naira, what do I do with it? I want to be able to save it so that it doesn't depreciate and erode away. So what do you do? 2 months ago, even less than 2 months ago, Naira was less than 500 Naira. Today, Naira is 569, 570, which means if I have $1 million Naira, the person who has dollars in his hand was having $2,500. But today, if I have $1 million Naira, my $2,500 less than a month ago is already $1,750. And that means without doing anything, I'm already losing money. Why? Because I'm not utilizing the information available to me. So there are things we need to take into consideration that we need to learn. I know most of us may not understand that on the internet, there are everyday business that we can do. There are everyday networking that we can engage in. For you as a missionary, you want sermons. 1,001 sermons are on the net for free. You want to connect with people anywhere in the world, that opportunity is available. You want to be able to create social media networks in your territory. When we go to places, you want to map your environment. You don't need to get to any country before you can do the mapping. You can do the mapping right where you are because all these informations are online. So you can know everything about Senegal, for instance, what their requirements are, what their laws are, their reaction to churches. You don't need to get out of your home before you get those things done. They may cost money, but they are free because this is a super highway information age, and we have all that. And so when a missionary is going somewhere, part of the equipping yourself that you need is number one, be aware of information technology ability that you need. Know how to use the computer. Know how to operate the internet. Have yourself acclimatized with the information. Boundaries have been removed. People can make money without stress in this day and age. All you need is information. Information will the difference between the rich and the poor today is information. What you don't know will harm you. But that information is free. In those days we say, Yoruba we say, now in these days, system lower, computer lower. And anybody is free to find it. It's only if you are lazy. So why will you not make the most? And the Bible says making the most of every opportunity. Now technology is also an opportunity. The Bible tells us about it. We can utilize it. Let me give you some examples of how I use internet even for monetary purpose. For instance, when informations come your way, what do you do with them? To travel, I have had opportunities to travel for very cheap. In this country, I have traveled to Abuja for 5,000 Naira through air. Not now. About some years ago, I don't know whether Ebenezer was aware of that time, because they were doing promo, October 1. This October 1 Independence Day promo. I think it was one of those airlines. And they said for 5,000, to and fro Abuja, mommy. I took all my children, plus my wife, and those pastors around me, I told them, everyone that has never traveled before, come, all of you. For 5,000 Naira, we all went to Abuja and come back. We booked it, we stayed. Somebody said, we were discussing at the coordinators meeting one time, and somebody was saying, the provost was traveling from one place to the other for graduation, and he said, he was going the way his car was breaking. And I said, why are you traveling by road? He said, air travel is expensive. At the time I was talking about, you can travel to any part of Nigeria for 10,000 Naira. And he said, no, it's not possible. I said, it is possible. Why? Don't never you say something is not possible. And if you're going to travel cheap, look for opportunity of booking ahead. Look for timely. In fact, some of us, we know how to search for the cheapest airline. I've traveled to US for 260,000. Me and my wife, 260. And we went through France. There are people who in the same plane with us who took Air France for 375,000. And me, I paid 260. And when we get to France, after 6-7 hours, we will still spend 8 hours to get to New York. And I paid 260. And somebody I was traveling with paid 375. And it dropped at France. That is how cheap technology can make things to be. So I don't go buy ticket the day I want to travel. And this can be applicable to so many things. You want to improve yourself at education, go online. There are free schools, there are tuition-free schools, there are schools with scholarship that we can find for ourselves and for our children. And you can be a consultant missionary if you know how to do some of these things. Somebody will say, I want to go abroad. And I say, for what? You can help them search online. If you are going to be paid for it, if you are a consultant, that's part of the work you can do. You can help people purchase things from China. This is not an age when somebody will say, I bought this book for 50. If you come to my office, you bring a quotation. All I ask you is, how much will it cost? You tell me the price. I don't need to struggle with you. I just stay, don't go. And I open my system. The easiest one in Nigeria is GG. When I open GG, I will see so many of those products. I will see the prices and I say, come and see. You say, I will buy for 50,000. This is already 15,000, 12,000, 6,000. Choose the one you want. Let's call the seller. He will deliver it here, plus over delivery. And then you look at me. So we get the cheapest material and the best quality. It's not going to be you bought it and then you say, no, it's not what we are looking for. No, it is there. Everybody, the digital age has exposed everything. And for us as missionaries, we can utilize these opportunities. In the area of communication, if not for God and for internet, and they are not the same, they are not at the same level, we will be paid through our nose to call abroad. But we all know that today, through WhatsApp calls, through Zoom, through video calls, through Duo, through 1,001 video calls, you can call for cheap as long as you have access to the internet. In the days before now, we were calling very expensively. And I think yesterday, we had a Zoom meeting with the PA to the Director of Mission, with Pastor Akipelu, myself and Pastor Ali from South Africa. We prayed for this program. We had counsel. We chatted together. It doesn't cost anything. I was doing it in my bedroom because it was Zoom. Now, that is stress-free. We must update ourselves. We must upgrade ourselves. Instead, if you want to go and study, make sure you study what is going to be utilized for you and in life. And that's my ground. Most of us are slow in catching some of these things. There are so many opportunities that we are wasting away. You don't need to be a liability to anybody if God gives you the grace to catch up with this. And so, no missionary should be without the knowledge of computer, because you will be doing yourself more harm. If you are going to somebody, you can be a teacher. I was privileged to travel with the director, our daddy and Baba Kyoshu one time. And we were in Senegal, mommy. And we got there late in the night, and we needed to eat. I wanted to order for hot water. They didn't speak English, or they don't speak English. We don't speak French. I don't know how to say it. I was saying, it was later that I remember, I carry phone. Anything, all you need, translator is in my phone. All I need is hot water. Is to translate it to me, for me in French. And I will show it to the waiter. It's simple. I am carrying the world in my hand. So it is that simple, and it is very possible. It may be expensive initially, but over time it will be reduced. And all in all, do not forget that we have been sent to go into the whole world. And what gets you into the whole world is actually your ability to maximize technology. I have a book. The book, if I have a book and I bring it here, it will be limited to this place. But if my book is on Amazon, and I have it on Amazon, I have it on Kindle, I have it on Okada Books, I have it on those places, it means anybody from any part of the world can buy it. Even if it's going to be $1, it will pay me, because I will not be using money to print the e-version copy. Let me give you an example. As a church, we have our Sunday school. If we could, by no means, this Sunday school, our own Sunday school, if you want to buy the online copy, you have to go and pay at the bank, and then you bring the code, and I say, we are still living a bit in the past. We don't need all that. You need to invest money. I don't know how much the coders will take, but if you invest like $1 million or a 1.5 or even 2, and then it's available to all CSC worldwide members everywhere for 50 naira or 100 naira, Even people will pay $1 or $10. You don't need to print anything. You don't need to dispatch. You don't need to carry motor and carry distribution facilities. It's just your copy online. I tell you, it is free money. The church can maximize, we can leverage on technology. And that's what I want you to begin to research on. I don't know the opportunities available in your territory, but I know the world today is a global village. It has removed boundary from anybody, and anywhere you are, once you are connected to your phone and your internet, you can make use of these opportunities. It is far cheaper than using. I need to send my lectures, and all I did was send it in 1 minute. It is where I'm sending it to. If I had to go and post it, I don't know whether people still go to the post office. I don't know whether people still utilize snail. They call it snail mail, and we use email. Bringing your reports here shouldn't be a problem anymore. Sending your report, even in videos, shouldn't be a problem anymore, because it's a matter of using your phone to catch some clips and sending it down to their headquarters, and they'll say, oh, we saw it. And if they have questions, you can talk on video. You can give us live activity that is going on if you want to really make a report. That is how cheap, how fast, and how easy it can be. It is possible if we put our minds to it. And of course, like I said, if you want to be independent financially, explore the opportunities online. There are so many of it. There are so many of it. 1,000,001. Do not be lazy. It can take your time initially. And don't forget, prayer is still the key. God shows people what to do and how to go about things. I know we need to pray, but while you are praying, ask God for opportunities and make the most of them. My prayer for each and every one of us is that God will open our eyes to the opportunities in our territory. Don't just use your phone for calling and receiving. Understand the opportunities in your area. Language, a new territory. Use your translator in your phone and your internet. You want to connect with the people in your neighborhood. You can. I was in US. I bought things in US. In Nigeria, you talk Naira Land. In US, you talk Craigslist. In Gambia, I don't know the one you have. There's what you call peer-to-peer transaction. If you don't like anything or you don't need anything anymore, don't throw away. Sell them. You put it online. I have these things to sell. People will call you. They will come and pick it, and you get your money. If there are things you want to buy, instead of going to the market or be looking for it, put it online. I need these things. There are people that will respond. That is how easy, how cheap, how fast it can be. Let's make the most of these things. And of course, when you are looking at for people of like minds, people with missionary experience, people that have been where you are going, online will get them across to you. You can chat, you can make friends, you can talk to them. They can tell you their experiences and the things you need to know so that you can be cautious, you can take caution. So for me, I want to just encourage all of us that as we are going, let us equip ourselves. Let us keep increasing our presence in the digital media, in the digital divide. Let us make the most of those technical opportunities because they are there. Because you don't know does not mean it doesn't exist. Some of us today, we are a bit independent because there are several opportunities that are available to us. You can be where you are. You know what is happening in Nigeria, and you know what is happening there. If you want to be engaged in business, look at your territory. What is the cheapest thing there? What can you send home? What can you exchange? What can you make out of it? You do it. You don't need to go out of anywhere. Where you are, you can be making little money. Very soon, you will be employing people. You are a missionary. You are not a pastor. As a missionary, if you are engaged in tent making, it will be easier for you and it will be easier for the church. And I pray for each and everyone as you pursue your calling, God will make it easy for you. Opportunities you need, the Lord will open your eyes to it. I want mind to be open to questions if that opportunity exists, but I think that's all I want to share with you. God bless you.
Let's clap for Jesus. Please, we are going to the last section of the workshop. If you have any question on those workshops, write it down. Tomorrow morning, there will be time to take questions. I hope some people have some questions. Just write it down. Tomorrow morning, we'll take that. And before that, if you are interested in all the lectures, just look at your pamphlet. You will see my number on the pamphlet. Just eye me on WhatsApp. I will send it to you via WhatsApp so that to make it easier instead of we couldn't make much photocopies. That's why it's not going around. And number 3,